Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pulling back big time, but the chart patterns that are presenting are becoming quite interesting, particularly the monthly chart. So we're going to dive into what the monthly chart's doing, a couple of key points worth noting, along with why is it dropping right now and what's to come. Now, before I get into it, if you're new here, the spreadsheet shows the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In the videos, I showed myself buying up all of these coins. These were cryptos that I thought were going to do very, very well. We're going to make a lot of money, which is obviously why I showed myself buying them up. These were their prices when I recorded and released my videos. These are the highs these coins hit in the last bull cycle. These are what your profits would have been if you popped $100 into them. 100 into each. In the last bull cycle would have been a $2,600 investment. In the last bull cycle, it would have netted your profit of over 123 grand. It took about 16 months. Which is pretty good. You don't have 16 months to get things sorted, though. We are in a bull cycle right now, and if you've got cryptos you're not happy with, coins that are not performing, you've got to get it fixed. If you don't know where to begin, have a look at copymycrypto.com/YouTube. This is the special offer I'm running right now for my YouTube followers. You get full access to my site, full membership to my site for half price, and there is a 60-day money-back guarantee. On the site, I share with my members the cryptos I own. Whenever I find any coin that I think can do very, very well, I jump onto my site, I tell my members about the coin, the reasons I think it can do well, and the price I'm going to buy at. Whenever I sell, I do the same thing. So my members have no work to do. They're in and out of crypto, same price as me. So they make the same profit. And if you go onto the site, you'll see some of the profits the members have made. You'll see some of the successes that led to those profits, like a meme coin we held for a fortnight. They did a 300x, or like Phantom, which in the last bull cycle was one of the best performers. Myself, my members, we got in at half a cent. It went up to $3.46. That's just shy of 700 times our investment. A number of my members became millionaires from that one alone. This is all public record, so you can verify it all. And if you like what you see and you want to find out the cryptos that are going to be the winners in this bull cycle this year, all you got to do to find out is join up on the site. Now, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has pulled back a decent amount. It's currently sitting at around 83 grand. Obviously, Bitcoin is the very first crypto. It is the king of cryptos, sitting at a 1.66 trillion market cap. Currently, it's pulling back for very obvious reasons. One of which is that the Fed rate odds have been collapsing. So there is a belief based upon the recent Federal Reserve minutes, combined with Jerome Powell's comments earlier in the month that a rate cut in December is becoming less and less likely. It wasn't that long ago there was about a 70% chance there was going to be a rate cut. Now, it's been sliding to around 33%. I think we're even lower now. My personal perspective is I still think there may well be a rate cut, but Jerome Powell is traditionally very he tries to remain neutral in every press conference. However, the reality is that he has the most miserable voice of all time. So it doesn't sound neutral. It sounds miserable and bearish, which tends to result... I don't think I've ever seen him cause a price rally. He always seems to cause a price drop. So the Federal Reserve minutes came out, caused a market drop. Now, the monthly chart for Bitcoin is showing something very interesting. We have this inverted head and shoulders possibly brewing. Our big left shoulder here, we've got a head here, and if we are going to brew a right shoulder, that will likely begin next month. We're actually at a very interesting point here, where if we notice in March, we came to a low of 82.5k. That was basically our support level for the monthly time frame. Though we did wick down the following month to 74,500. That is probably where we can wick down to this month, or possibly next month. So it's very likely that we're not necessarily completely finished with a pullback for the market. We may well see Bitcoin wick down to 74.5k. And then we're likely that we're going to see some sort of bounce. Now, I highlight this quite often. If we hit the 50 on the RSI, that is often a very key bounce level. And that goes in both directions. So we can take a look at a 4-hour time frame and show an example of this. So when the market is dropping and we hit the 50 on the RSI, or thereabouts on the 50, then So the market's been dropping. We bounce up to the 50 on the RSI. That triggers a continuation to the downside. Quite similarly, when we see the market, has been on a tear and it's been rising, and then it pulls back to the 50, it usually triggers a continued bounce up, right? And it doesn't really matter which time frame you use. The time frame shows consistency pretty damn well across the board. A good example here. So we bounced to the 50 on the RSI, and then the following few candles for Bitcoin were very bullish. And it happens time and time and time and time again. The 50 on the RSI is a very, 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 very useful bounce level. So looking at this, the fact that we are, yes, experiencing a pullback, yes, Bitcoin has dropped quite significantly comparatively to the previous months. But we're very, very close to the 50 on the RSI. We still have 9 days of this month left. There's still clearly going to be a lot of wiki action. We may well fall to 74.5. We're probably going to rise and touch 86 a couple of times. And then December, especially if we're in and around this price point, December's likely to be a good bounce month. If, however, we finish the month at, say, 87, 88, then we might have December bleed down a little bit more, kind of similar to how March was. So we touch the 50, and then the January is our bounce level. And then, to be honest, what will happen? Well, we'll probably form a right shoulder. We'll probably form a right shoulder, and we'll have we'll have our head and shoulders pattern, and then Bitcoin will play to the downside. Now, the long-term view of Bitcoin doesn't change. The long-term view of Bitcoin is still that it will probably be a $250,000 asset, within the next sort of 12 months. Maybe 48 months. But the short-term view is that this may well bleed. May well have a little bit more of a drop, but we've still got a rally imminent, even if it's just a smaller one. And 80, from where it is right now, 83 grand back to 100 is about a 20% move. So that's probably brewing for Bitcoin. And it is worth noting we still really haven't finished the pattern that was emerging anyway. Where is this? The cyclical lines. The cyclical lines. I don't know. I just can't imagine anyone really feeling the need to use a sine graph. I mean, I suppose. But yeah, just don't see the use case there, to be honest. Don't see the use case particularly. So we had this. There we go. So Bitcoin was in a cup and handle formation. And did we complete it? Did we fully complete it? We might have, to be fair. We might have. I don't think we did, though. Oh, we might have just. We did. We completed the measure move. So we had this cup and handle formation that was brewing on the monthly charts. That got completed. So technically, measure moves have been done. I did highlight at the start of the year, or when this was brewing, that we had a move to at least 124,000, and we did touch that in October. Obviously, a pullback from a short-term view is just what we would expect and probably what's necessary, especially when we look at things like the RSI being so oversold right now. But the monthly chart still signals like there's potential wicks down, and it still signals like we may well have a right shoulder brewing over the course of the next 3 months or so. So something to bear in mind if you're a long-term trader, that Bitcoin will probably have a bounce over the next couple of months, getting back to around the 100,000 mark. And then after that, if it doesn't start pushing much higher, we may well be preparing for a right shoulder and a further downturn come April. So something, and that happens to coincide with tax year. So something to bear in mind Bitcoin's looking very, very interesting right now. The charts are going to be heavily traded right now. Expect a lot of volatility in the markets. Does any of that change your long-term view of Bitcoin? Probably not. The short-term view might change a little bit, but the long-term view is still what it is. This is going to be probably a couple $100,000 asset, 250. Will it hit $1 million? People always speculate about that. Maybe one day. I still think there's a very good chance of it getting to 200,000 plus, maybe even 250 plus in 2026. But short term, there's still potential moves down. And if we form a right shoulder on this chart, there's a much further move down that could be coming around April. So something to bear in mind. How are you feeling about the markets right now? Are you super bearish? Are you bullish? Are you just buying? Is this now your accumulation phase? Let me know what you're doing in the comments down below. And guys, we're in a bull cycle, and if you are sitting on coins you're not happy with, cryptos that are not performing, you do need to fix it. If you don't know where to begin, get onto copymycrypto.com/YouTube. This is the special offer I'm running right now for my YouTube followers. You get full access to my site, full membership to my site for half price. And there is a 60-day money-back guarantee. On the site, I share with my members the coins that I own. Whenever I find any crypto that I think can do well, I jump onto my site, tell my members about the crypto, the reasons it can do well, and the price I'll be buying at. Whenever I sell, I do the same. There is no work for my members. And if you go onto my site, you'll see the profits my members have made. You'll see some of the successes that have led to those profits. All of it's public record, so you can verify it all. And if you like what you see and you want to find out the coins that are going to be the winners in this bull cycle this year, all you got to do to find out is join up on the site. And if you do, I'll see you there. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.